A community isn't a community unless you know the people in it. So it's really important to personalize your class and make sure that everyone has an idea of who else might be in the class with them. It's important to have students introduce themselves. You can do this in Blackboard Collaborate by having students, type some things on the whiteboard that they may have in common with someone else and have them find other people who share the same traits or the same interests. Do some of those silly icebreakers in your classes just to give students an idea of who else might be in there with them. VoiceThread is a website that allows you to comment on a common picture or writing or idea. And so you can post anything in VoiceThread and ask your students to come and comment on it. It does require you to have an account, but once you have an account set up, it's very easy to comment. You just click on the comment button and you have the option of a phone call, a video message. You can record something using your microphone. You can type in a message. So there's lots of different ways that you can communicate this way that may help with some of those students that may not have a microphone. If they have trouble typing, they can always have VoiceThread call them and they can record their message over the phone. And then everyone can participate and comment on the same thing. And this is a great way to do introductions in your class. WallWisher is a website where students can post a response to a question or they can share something that has to do with something common on the wall. This is an example of a WallWisher I used with teachers a while ago. These are the names still left on the wall. How WallWisher works is that you create a wall for your classroom or your class. It could be your teacher wall, and you'd post a question. So something that goes up here, how are you using Study Island is what we used for this. It could be, tell me one thing you like to do on the weekends. It could be tell me something that you learned yesterday in math class. It could be anything that you want them to discuss. And then students post on the wall, it's almost like a sticky note that they post on the wall, their response to that question. I have first names on this one. These are all teachers. You have the students. They can create their own sign-in name. They can create something that's unique to them. It can be a number. It can be anything. It does not have to be their first name. So it can be anonymous. But you can ask students to maybe sign in with their first initial and last name, however you'd like for them to post to your wall. So you don't have to worry about FERPA violations on this. And you can also set it up so that you preview any post before it goes live on the wall to make sure that there are no FERPA violations here too. It's just one thought, but this is kind of a fun way to get class discussions going every day, and students can come and check on their wall and see if there's a new question posted or to see what other people have said about that discussion. Wordle is a word cloud building program, and what you can do is input a set of words and then create a word cloud based on those words. So this is an example of a Wordle using the California mission statement text. You can see very quickly what the big ideas are in this mission statement. The words used most frequently are large, and they usually take out the small words like the, if, and, those things like that. So you should see some pretty big ideas come out of this. You can see the focus is California, students, college, guidance, partnership. This is just one example of many out there, but you could take something like students' responses to a question and put them into a word cloud like this and see the big ideas that came out of your entire class's discussion. Another idea to make things a little more personal is to ask for feedback about your class. Not only will this give you some valuable information for planning, but it demonstrates to the students that you trust their opinions and you value their thoughts about how to make their education better. So I talked before that group work can help to foster community. There's lots of different ways to facilitate group work. I've seen it used most frequently in breakout rooms with students working on projects together. If you want students to just do a quick project, you can send them into a breakout room and just say make groups of 2 or make groups of 3 and have them automatically go into a breakout room however they get divided up, and it makes really nice random groups. The other way that you could do it is to have students, choose partners and move themselves into a breakout room. You can have topics in each breakout room and have the students go to the room that matches a topic that they're interested in and have discussions that way. So there's lots of different ways to do that within breakout rooms. There's also some ways you could do it by creating something like a class Google Doc. Google Docs have the ability to not only share a common page where everyone can edit at the same time, but there's also a chat feature within the document. So you'd open up on the right-hand side the chat, and you can type back and forth to different people while you're editing, and everyone can see the chat context. So it's a really good way to have conversations about the document that you're editing while you're editing it. This is really cool for peer review. If you have two students that maybe want some help with writing, and you can have them both go into a Google Doc together and they can edit together so they can see the changes that are being made. You can also provide opportunities for peer review within your class, and these don't have to be live opportunities, but maybe have a group of students that would be willing to review other students' work, and then anytime a student would like support, they can meet with that student or they can send their work and that student can support them. This is something that can be facilitated by you until you know that that student would be willing to support them. A great idea for this is to get a 7th or 8th grader that could help a 4th grader with their writing or with math or with a history project that they're working on or a science experiment they're working on, and just give them opportunities to work together in an academic way, but that they may not have had that opportunity in the past. So I want to throw one final word out there about community building, and that is to just put yourself out there. And when they see that you are a real person and that they can communicate with you and that they can form this bond with you, they're more likely to respond positively to your opportunities to interact with them. So I have a couple examples for you here that I would like to show you. And the first one is a welcome video done by one of our intervention specialists, Nancy Neal. And these welcome videos are sent to new families just to give them an idea of who our teachers are and what to expect when they're in their classroom.
Hello there, my name is Nancy Neal, and I'm glad to be your student's math intervention teacher this year. This is my second year with CAVA. It'll be my second year teaching intervention, and I really enjoyed it last year, and I'm super glad to be back again this year. I have taught for 15 years in a brick and mortar school, mostly elementary education. I have 3 kids of my own. I have 2 girls and a boy. They're 12, 9, and 5, and we're just as busy as I'm sure you are with life and school and just being a family. A few expectations that I'd like to let you know about is to, of course, number 1, come to all of those sessions that we're going to have. 3 sessions a week for 30 minutes each time. And it's really important that you're on time too. I know it seems like maybe a minute or 2 here isn't a big deal, but when you only have 30 minutes to meet, it's really important that we're able to utilize all 30 of those minutes. The second thing that's pretty important to our intervention program is that you are participating in the iReady lessons weekly. We will have weekly goals and we might have some prizes.
The second video I have here is by a WAVA teacher, and he did a parody of teaching online that he shared with other WAVA teachers and put on YouTube. It's just another way for you to think about what you could be doing and types of things you could send out to students. I don't know that many of us are as silly as he could be, but it's just something else to get you thinking. So now that you have all of this fabulous information, what are you going to do when you turn off this video? I suggest incorporating one new community building strategy into your weekly lessons. Just take one thing out of this whole presentation, something that caught your mind and thought, you know what, this might be really cool to try. Just try one new thing in your weekly lessons for a month and see how it goes. Host some sort of gathering or a club in your Blackboard Collaborate room. You can have your students maybe come with the latest book that they've read and share something that they liked about their book, or have them come and discuss something that you think they may have in common. And collaborate with your team. Find ways to bridge gaps between classes from students from your class and students from your partner teacher's class. Find ways to get together and build community beyond your classroom. Thank you for taking the time to watch this, and I hope you found it helpful. Have a great day.